Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Out and about in Hemel Hempstead, part of the town that I don't know actually, so I could get lost at any moment. But today I'm on another Triumph ride, and this is the Speed Triple RS, the 2018 model. It's been ages since I rode a Speed Triple. I've not ridden this one. It's had loads of changes since I last rode one. It's had hundreds of engine changes. It's got all sorts of new electronics, and this is kind of the original hooligan bike that's really been brought bang up to date. So stick around and stay tuned if you want to learn more about the 2018 Speed Triple RS. So I've had lots of people ask me when I was going to ride the new RS. This bike has been around now in this form, I think, since it's been around probably about 6 months plus. It was certainly up at the NEC show last November, and I just haven't had a chance to ride this latest bike. As I say, I rode the original, well, it wasn't the original Speed Triple, but I rode a Speed Triple back in 2012 when I was looking to buy a naked bike. And then last year I borrowed a, no I didn't, I had a Speed Triple just on a test ride, which was slightly more up to date, but this is the first time I've ridden the one with all the new electronics, all the engine changes and everything else that's been done to this bike. It's got, as I say, something like 200 changes to the engine and chassis. It's got lots of new electronics. On this, the top spec RS model, it's got lean sensitive ABS and traction control. It's got 5 riding modes. It's got the new fancy TFT screen, which is very similar to the one that's on the Street Triple now. And it's just a lovely, lovely bike. This machine also has, it again being the RS model, the top spec Olin suspension front and back. And the ride on it is lovely, I have to say. It's also got a cracking quick shifter that works both up and down. Sadly, it doesn't have a built-in sat-nav, because then I'd be able to know where the heck I'm going. I've come on a slightly different route because I wanted to try this in as many different circumstances as I can in the short time that I've got it, including riding it around town. So I thought I'd take a different turn, and I've basically come somewhere I don't know where the heck I am, but let's head down that way. It's all very nice. This is the environs of Hemel Hempstead for those that are interested. So to the practical things about the bike then. What are the first things that you notice when you jump on? Well, riding position, very, very familiar. I rode here on my Street Triple, and this feels very, very much like it in terms of the seating position, where your feet are tucked up in a relatively sporty position and you're canted forward slightly, but it's not, you're not canted forward in a way that's uncomfortable like you would be on a sports bike. It's, you know, definitely a comfortable ride. Now this RS version of the bike is actually 3 kilograms lighter than the old machine, and I suspect that might be because it's got the Arrow titanium end cans on, and that saves a fair bit of weight in itself. There may be some other reasons too, but it feels noticeably lighter than any other Speed Triple I've ridden. And that was the thing that I used to level at the Speed Triple that I didn't like about it, was it just felt weighty and a bit lardy compared to the Street Triple, and is the reason why I ended up buying a Street Triple rather than the Speed. But this one actually feels a lot lighter than I ever remember a Speed Triple feeling. And you think 3 kilograms, that's not a lot, but I tell you, it really does feel a lot more agile than the old bike. I guess that could be to do with suspension as well. And she certainly lifts up her skirt and goes when you want her to. Proper hooligan bike this. Hasn't quite got the noise out of the Arrow cans that you get out of the Street Triple, which is a bit of a higher pitched, more angry sounding thing. This is a bit more of a grown up hooligan. Seat on this feels nice and wide. It's quite hard, but it's actually quite comfortable. I don't think you'd have any problem going for long distances on it. Handlebars feel again very much like the Street Triple, just you know, set in the right position. As I say, you're leant forward slightly, but not canted forward such that it's going to hurt your back. It's got these Triumph bar end mirrors that look great and work really well actually. They're nice and big. Just going to adjust that one while I'm thinking of it. That's better. Great view behind on here. The other thing that's very different between this, or the one thing that I noticed that's a big difference between this and the Street Triple, is the width of the bike. It feels a lot fatter between your legs, which I actually quite like. It means you can grip hold of this tank and gives you a sort of a feeling of security, which might be misplaced. The Olin suspension on here just feels lovely. I guess this one's adjusted as stock out the factory. But on these bumpy old pothole roads that we've got in the UK at the moment, it just feels lovely and smooth, really nice. One of the features of this, the RS, is, as I say, the quick shifter and auto blipper. And here we are going very slowly, and it actually downshifts really easily and precisely. Yeah, the upshifts are lovely and smooth on here. It's a beautiful gearbox. The engine just feels much more eager than I remember it on the previous models. It spins up nice and quickly. I think Triumph have put some work into making things like flywheels and stuff lighter, so it does spin up quicker. But it definitely feels like a much more agile bike. Just check behind me and then just try the brakes. Man, the front brakes are absolutely brilliant on this. Again, the RS model's got the fancy Brembos, and they really do stop beautifully. Let me just try the rears as well. Actually, the rear wheel is, or the rear brake I should say, is fantastic. Many speed cameras down here. So before I came out to do this first impressions review of the new bike, last night when I was doing a bit of research, I watched the Triumph launch video of this, and the chief marketing guy there was saying that this is the best speed triple yet, and they've done all sorts of things to it. I thought, yeah, marketing fluff, it'll just feel the same as all the others. But I have to say, this is a huge improvement on the old bike, and the old bike was no slouch and nothing wrong with that, but yeah, this is a much improved bike now. I used to find the other one, as I say, lardy and heavy feeling a bit compared to the street triple, but that's all gone now. Yeah, she feels lovely in the corners. Nice and light to turn in, not a lot of rider input required on the bars, and then she stays planted. Very, very nice. It just feels like a, as I say, a sort of a grown-up street triple now. It makes me wonder if I was in the market for a naked Triumph these days, whether in fact I'd go for this over the street now. So just looking across the handlebars here, as usual, Triumph have done its great thing with all the fit and finish on here. It looks really nicely made, right down to this little Speed Triple RS logo bit in the middle here. Looks really quality stuff. I'm not too sure about the Triumph TFT actually. To me it looks a little bit Fisher Price compared to some others that I've ridden on other bikes, but you know, this is pretty much the same across the range now, and I understand how it works, and it works quite intuitively. Switch gear is all the usual Triumph stuff. It's the PCB type, so you don't get a lot of feel with the switch gear, but it works well enough. It's interesting to see that as standard, Triumph have put cruise control on the Speed Triple, which is an addition that, you know, I like cruise control very much on bikes, but that's there as standard, but heated grips aren't. This is the top of this range bike, and it doesn't have heated grips as standard, which I just think is nuts. Why don't all bikes have heated grips? You know, if it's a lack of space for switches, give me heated grips rather than cruise control anytime. Yeah, it's lovely, this bike. The handling is beautiful on it. Lovely smooth engine now. This triple is just beautiful. Triumph certainly know how to make a triple engine. Yeah, really nice. Alright, what I need to do then, go and find my favourite spot for a walk around, and I'll show you around the bike and talk you through the spec. Yeah! Yep, she's still a hooligan, alright. Man, that auto blipper is so smooth, it's lovely. Actually, in terms of downshifts, that might be one of the cleanest I've ever used. Great note out of the triple. I'm assuming this one's got the baffles in the end cans, because it's not annoyingly loud, it's just got a nice note about it. Right, let's see if I can pull over in my usual spot, down by the wheelie bin, and show you around this beast, talk you through the spec. Right, into neutral. Stand's got a handy little bit on the side to get your foot on. And this is one of these keyless bikes again, so no ignition, just turn off with the switch. That way, there we go, she's off. Nice. Alright, let's show you this thing then. Now, this bike could do with a clean, there's no doubt about that. If it were mine, she would definitely be having a polish, but a beast of a bike to look at. And here you can see this is obviously the one in black, and it's got lots of little carbon bits on it as well. But we'll go around that in a second. Let me just get the phone out so I can give you a bit of a close-up look at the bike. Here we go then, the 2018 Triumph Speed Triple RS, mean looking bike. The original Hooligan is kind of how Triumph badged this, if you like. Lovely machine. This is what it's all about, the triple engine, which, as I say, has had 100 odd changes in there, including the gearbox. Made it lighter, spin up more quickly, and just feels a lot more eager than it ever did before. Some of the other things on here, I'll just quickly show you. Things like the arrow cans that you get on the RS as well. You've got the blingy suspension as well. We saw at the front down there the Öhlins forks on the front, plus those amazing Brembo brakes that just work so well on this bike. And then at the rear you've got the adjustable Öhlins as well, and on the back there you've got a single pot Nissin brake, which works surprisingly well. Anyway, to the spec then, the engine, as I say, it's all about the engine on this bike really. 1050cc inline triple, putting out 148 brake horsepower. That's about 10 more than the old bike. Torque wise, 117 newton meters at 7,150, and also they've sorted out the torque curve. It's smoother all round now, and so there's no surprises when you're actually riding the bike. Seat height on this, 825mm, so sort of middling seat height. It's a comfy seat, as I say. It's quite narrow at the front, so you can get your feet down. I'm only 5'8", and I've got no problems getting my feet on the deck, on the sort of balls of my feet. Weight of this, 192 kilograms dry, so not super light and not particularly heavy. Again, it's sort of one of those middling weight bikes. Tank capacity on this, 15.5 litres, and it's got that big old tank that's really nice, as I say, to grip when you're riding it. Electronics wise, as I say, it's got loads of electronics on here now. 5 riding modes, cornering ABS, traction control. It's got those daytime running lights on the front here and the LEDs. It's got the TFT dash, as we looked at. It's got cruise control. So yeah, they've really, again, thrown this sort of electronic trickery at this bike this time round. Price wise on the road, 13,250 for the RS. If you want the S, then that's 11,350. And if you go for the S, you don't get the things like the keyless ignition, you don't get the fancy Öhlins, the fancy Brembos, etc. So you know, it's probably worth spending the extra money, I think, and going for the RS if you can, because it's got lots of bling on this. Colour wise, you can get it in white or black. So there we go. It's also got a few bits of carbon bling on here. Let's just show you the front mudguard on the RS is carbon as well, which is nice, as well as these radiator shrouds, all very, very nice. Although this one definitely needs a clean. I think if this was my bike, I'd be getting the auto glim out pretty sharpish, because it's a lovely looking machine, but it definitely looks better when it's clean. Alrighty, that's it for the walk around. Let's jump back on, see if we can find our way back to the dealership. Right, let's just see what she's like manhandling her around. Definitely feels a bit heavy in the street when you're shifting around like this, but I'm going uphill, but not hideously heavy or top heavy or anything difficult like that. I think this would be a pretty easy bike to live with. Right, the keyless ignition, so I think you just bring it alive by pressing the top one, I think, or is it the bottom one? Oh, there we go. Clutch in. Oh, nearly. Let's try again. There we go. Nice. Alright, well, I'm thinking might go back a slightly different way. I'm going to throw caution to the wind and go and have a bit of an adventure, because I don't know this area very well, although I've come down here and done lots of reviews before. I don't think I've ever gone left out of this road. Oh, nice Ferrari. So let's see where this takes us. So competition wise, although the Speed Triple is, of course, as I say, the original Hooligan bike, of course all the other manufacturers have decided they want to slice that pie now and come on board. So this is up against things like the Yamaha MT-10, the KTM Super Ducati, the BMW S1000R, bikes like that. All great bikes, I have to say. It'd be very difficult to choose between them. I guess it depends you know, what you like on bikes. I guess for me, let's just overtake here. This has got bags of power for overtaking. For me, out of that batch, well, the KTM Super Duke R is just a hooligan bike, lovely machine, and the MT10 I loved, especially in its SP form, but this is a Triumph, so I don't know, very difficult to choose. I think the MT10 and the KTM are probably a bit more, these days, a bit more of a hooligan bike, that they do feel a bit quicker, but this has got ample speed. You don't need any more than this. But if you've not tried a speed triple of late and you've ridden one in the past, it's definitely worth having a go on the new bike, because it really is much improved in every way on the older machine. Well, this is all very nice, I must say. I'll just slow down a bit, come into 40 limit. So I must just say thank you very much to the guys up at Hart's Triumph for letting me borrow the bike once again. If you've not been up to the dealership there, they're the dealership for Hemel Hempstead and the surrounding area. Loads of bikes, as you'd imagine, accessories too. Well worth a look in. Free coffee as well, and loos, so if you want to ride out, a great place just to have marked on your map for a pop in. So thanks to those guys once again for letting me borrow the bike to do this initial impressions review. Well, the adventure continues. I have no idea where I am. It's all very nice. As luck would have it, I've popped out in Berkhamsted and I know where I am again, so the adventure's over. I know how to head back. And a good opportunity just to try the bike again a bit more in sort of town busy traffic. And because there's no issues with the weight of the bike, it's very easy to ride in traffic. It's easy to ride slow. Nice light clutch. Good visibility from the high seating position. Actually would be a pretty good commuter. Right, before I get back then, I do have the opportunity just to turn right up here, get myself onto a bit of faster road, just see what she's like on dual carriageway. So if the battery lasts in the camera, let's give a quick black down the dual carriageway and see what the speed triple's like on faster roads. Right, I've just come out of Berkhamsted, so that means I've got a quick chance to do a junction or two on the A41, which is a faster dual carriageway. See how she is for wind blasts, etc. Right, there's my chance. Yeah, well, there's no doubt the bike goes fast. No problem there. And wind blast wise, absolutely fine. I've just got clean air coming off this little nose cone. It's not turbulent at all. So if you did want to cruise at high speed, you could do so on this bike. Wouldn't be a problem. I really appreciate the Olin suspension on these faster roads as well. It's really is a nice ride at a speed. Alright, let's pull over here because I'm going to come off soon. So that's about it for my first impressions review of the 2018 Triumph Speed Triple RS. As you gathered, I like it a lot. They've made a lot of improvements they said they had, and it's true. I'm really pleased that they kept on the bike. Also, I meant to say on the walk around the twin high level pipes. Not many bikes now come with that. I just think they look great like that. Of course, they moved lower on lots of bikes when they became unfashionable about 7 or 8 years ago. Helps with weight distribution, that sort of thing. But on a bike like this, I just think it looks great. It was designed to have the bikes the pipes high up, and it just looks right with the high level pipes. So I'm glad to see they've kept that. So I've had a chance really to go through things like the riding modes on this brief 1 hour test ride. That's more something for maybe a future long-term living with type review. But I hope that's given you a bit of a flavour of what the new bike is all about. They have done a nice job on this, and if you're in the market for a hooligan naked and you're a Triumph fan, then definitely check these out. It was a lot lighter, a lot faster, nice and comfortable. Really nothing not to like, really. Alright, that's it for this time. Hope you found that of some interest. Look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.